The point is just to limit yourself to one area on the fingerboard. So let's try a little bit of improv in that position. So I'd like to talk about scalar improvisation. That's a great way to begin. So I'm going to start out with a C major scale. I'll just play it in open position. And we're going to use that scale to play over a diatonic chord progression. So what that means is that every chord in this progression is derived from the key of C. So we're going to play C major 7, D minor 7, G7, and C major 7. So this is the 1 chord, C major 7, the 2 chord, the 5 chord, and back to the 1 chord. Okay, so I'm just going to improvise a little bit over that progression, only using the C scale. So that's a very simple improvisation. I was trying to go mostly by step. Occasionally I leaped a third or a fourth. But generally I was moving around by step. So you can't really go wrong. Every note in that scale, of course, is going to be fairly consonant with any chord. Certain of those tones are going to agree even more because those are chord tones of the current chord being played, but you can't go wrong is the point. So it's a really great way to just get in there and experiment. What we're doing is we're getting used to this particular position on the fingerboard, but also you're getting used to hearing the results of what you're doing. And all of that experience is really important to becoming comfortable and proficient at improvisation. So next what I'd like to do is take the same C major scale, but we're going to do it on a different part of the fingerboard. We're going to move up to the 7th position. It's a very comfortable place to play C major scale. So something like that. You can alter the fingering, of course. It doesn't really matter. The point is just to limit yourself to one area on the fingerboard. So let's try a little bit of improv in that position. Cheated a little bit there, went up to the 12th fret, but almost everything else was right in that 7th position. So you can make a lot of music in one position on the fingerboard. It's usually about 2.5 octaves, so it's plenty of notes to choose from. And as I say, really a lot of fun to get started in improvisation that way. Okay, so next I'm going to talk about horizontal improvisation. So when we take a position at a time, we're using vertical improvisation. We're traversing the strings vertically. And that's, of course, really useful, but equally useful is horizontal improvisation. So let's take the same C scale, but we're going to play it all on the second string. So we'll start here in the first fret and just work our way up by step. Fingering doesn't matter. It's really just about feeling your way through it and really opening up your ear to what you're doing. That's a great way to look at the fingerboard too. It's kind of like the piano. You know, it's very logical as you move left to right. You're ascending as you move right to left. You're descending. You can see the frets that you're skipping as you go through that scale, and those are like the black keys on the piano. So it's a super intuitive way to improvise. Let's take a spin through this chord progression and improvise in that way. So it's not only a different way of seeing the fingerboard, it forces you to really improvise differently because, for one thing, you're going to limit the wideness of the interval. You're going to be tending to play in smaller intervals because they're simply nearby. It takes a lot of effort to move up a sixth, say. And so that's a very lyrical approach to improvising because that's what a singer does. It's much more natural and easy for a singer to move around by step than to jump up, say, to that sixth. And when you do jump up to the sixth, that effort results in a certain kind of expression, which is good. So all of these experiences are teaching us to improvise, but in an expressive way. We played C major in the open position before. Very natural and convenient place to play it. Second position is also really good for C major on the guitar. Third position, fifth position.